we are going to be talking about how to reset your PLC back to stock. Now, the first thing you do, which I already have, is open up Siemens TIA Portal V7, or V13 is what the version we have. Next, we need to actually find our PLC on the network. Now, I do have my PLC plugged in via an Ethernet cable going back to my computer. And we need to actually go ahead and search that interface. Now, to search that interface, there are two different options. The option that I definitely like, or I prefer, I should say, is going to Online in the top menu screen, and then going to Accessible Devices. This will bring up a screen that will allow you to search all of the different network types, or interfaces, I guess I should say. So in this instance, if I put my little drop down here, we have PNIe, Profibus, MPI, Teleservice, and S7-1200. For the purposes of this class, we'll be using the PNIe, which is the Ethernet ports on our computer. Now for the PG/PC, or programming interface specifically. Now you will see that we do have four different options here. We have our integrated Ethernet connection on this computer. Now mine might be different than yours, so you do have to think about this and pick which one best fits your need. Or worst case, try one until you find the one that actually works. But this is an integrated Ethernet controller on my computer. This is a USB dongle that I have that has Ethernet capabilities, which is the one that we will be using. We have a Wi-Fi direct virtual adapter, and then we also have our PLC SIM. So for our purposes of my demo today, I'm going to be selecting the USB 3 to gigabit Ethernet adapter. Make sure you pick the one that your PLC is actually attached to. And then go ahead and you can click Start Search. Now this will take a few seconds, so don't be too surprised by that. It is going out searching the network. And as we can see, we did find the PLC that we're looking for. It is now listed on the screen. If I click on that, I can click the flash LED button, and you will see that the three LEDs on the PLC blink. So that way you know that yours is the PLC that this is you're working with. Now, if you only have one PLC, hopefully that's not a big issue, but something that you should pay attention to. Once you have that, go ahead and make sure you have yours selected and go ahead and hit Show Device. Now this is popping up a window saying that the IP address for my PLC, which is 192.168.0.1, does not match the IP address that my current computer has, and all I have to say is yes. So that way the software will assign my Windows computer an IP on the same subnet and the same network group that the PLC is on, so we can actually communicate back and forth with that. And if we go ahead and give it a moment, it should pop up the information for our computer. All right, so on the left-hand side in the project tree, you can see where we are at right now. We're on again, the 3.0 to gigabit. We have our PLC, and if we go ahead and double-click on Online and Diagnostics, it will bring us into the controls or the information for that specific PLC. So we have all of the general information, diagnostics, cycle time. Cycle time is always fun to look at. I highly suggest you do that once your program's actually running something. But more importantly, if we go down to functions, there is a reset to factory settings. Now, here we can choose whether we want to retain the IP address or delete the IP address. For the purposes of this lesson, I'm going to delete the IP address. You might want to keep yours, so I will let you pick that one for yourself. So I'm going to go ahead and hit reset, and this will take a minute, so I will be right back. All right, so now that it has updated, the PLC is back to factory settings. We could do that online and accessible devices again and go through that whole system. However, this time we're going to go a slightly different route. So under my online access, I am going to select my USB 3 to gigabit Ethernet, and I'm going to go ahead and double click Update Accessible Devices. And that should start scanning my network for the PLC. Now, you will notice nothing is showing up. Oh, there it is. There is one showing up. Cool. Now, if we again drop this arrow down, the only option we have this time is Online Diagnostics. We don't have any other information. And the reason for that is because we do not have an IP address. You will also notice that the information inside this diagnostics area on the screen is much less. There's not basically anything there. All we can do really is assign an IP address. So we're going to go ahead and assign it. I'm going to just assign it back to the same thing it was. And I have a subnet mask of 255.255.255. I'm going to do that, assign the IP address, and then unluckily, we have to do that whole scanning thing one more time, so that way we can actually get access to it the correct way. So we're scanning, which you can see is noted by there's a little refresh sign right there on that interface card. Really small, I know. Now we have a check mark saying we're done. And you notice we have our PLC listed here again. And now we can come back into our online diagnostics, and everything is back where we started. All right, so that is how you reset your PLC back to stock settings.